Excellent. Nice choice in songs as usual, Tony. So I just got a couple of things that I'll add before we go and we ask Gavin about the leadership race for the NDP. One, I posted a link on oppositionr.adio Facebook page with Nathan Cullen giving a great speech at an Occupy event against the Enbridge pipeline. I think everyone should listen to that. It's a very well-spoken piece by Nathan Cullen. And just really quick here, too, on this whole issue of the parties, the opposition parties working together, I think the thing that stifles this most is party control. And I mean, none of the political parties like to be told that they should listen maybe more to their constituents. But interestingly enough, an MP, Brad Trost from Saskatoon, Conservative MP, has come out and said that party whips need to have less authority over their members, and he's even saying that it stifles debate and prevents independent thinking. And I think this is actually a great development. Where it goes, I mean, it probably means that Brad Trost will be an independent soon. But you know, if these parties are going to work together, they definitely need to loosen up on their controlling factors over their members and let their members represent their ridings rather than represent the parties in Ottawa. But anyways, so Gavin, we're interested to hear, you know, if have you been listening to the NDP leadership candidates, and is there any one that shines right now that you think you'd like to mention?
Well, no, I haven't made a firm decision at this point on which one I would like to support, but we can eliminate the sort of trailers. With one, I would like to mention simply that Nikki is a very interesting candidate, and so is Romeo Saganash. I don't think either of them is the base to become a leader at this point, or the experience either. But virtually everybody else is. What's the name of the Sikh guy? I can't remember his name.
Martin Singh.
Yeah, I think he's also out. But the leaders in my mind are well. I admire and would I think I could accept people like oh dear, I keep forgetting all the names.
We've got after you remove Martin Singh and the two you mentioned that definitely have talent but probably aren't going to be leaders, both Romeo Saganash and Nikki Ashton you mentioned. The remaining candidates are Peggy Nash, Paul Dwyer, Brian Topp, Thomas Mulcair, and Nathan Cullen.
Yeah, you like Nathan a lot for the reasons stated. Two people that I admire greatly are supporting Paul Dwyer, and that's Charlie and our local member here in London Fanshawe. And so Paul Dwyer has to be an interesting candidate from my point of view. And the basic reason that they state that they're supporting him is that they believe that he connects well with the broad constituency across Canada. So basically, it's an electability and leadership thing that they're going for. All of the other candidates, including Peggy, who I support personally, I mean, I like the idea of supporting her. They don't seem to be getting much traction. The Brian Topp and Mulcair are the putative front runners, but it's very odd. Neither of them are connecting well with the caucus at this point, I think, or with the rank and file members.
Yeah, it almost seems like I mean, there definitely seems to be an element within the NDP leader or membership where you start talking to people in the NDP party, and usually somebody pipes up and has something negative to say about Thomas Mulcair. On the flip side, it used to be that early on in this race, people always had something really nice to say about Brian Topp, but people seem to have stopped talking about Brian Topp as much. So the last the last debate in on the East Coast, the three top candidates after the debate, it was said that Paul Duar and Nathan Cullen and Thomas Mulcair were the only ones who had made any sort of notable mention for themselves after the fact. So it's interesting to see the race kind of taking these minor adjustments. There's all sorts of different concerns with different candidates. Peggy Nash, I think you could say she represents more of the traditional base of the NDP. Same with Brian Topp. And the concern with Brian Topp, of course, is that he doesn't have a seat in Parliament, and we don't know if he is truly electable or not. So it's tough to say where this is going to land.
Yeah. I think that Mulcair his support is evaporating because his provincial base is never really sound. He needs more time to put that together, and he pleaded for support to do that, but it just wasn't there. But I think he needs to go back and build the provincial the provincial party as best he can.
I guess that's the hard part, though, too, isn't it? Is that if we were to look at any of those candidates, who is going to build the NDP party in Quebec? Who has a better chance at it than Thomas Mulcair?
Well, there are a number of people. Paul Duer's family is political in Ottawa, and he's fluently bilingual. Peggy Nash is doing a very good job on the same. Her base is industrial Ontario, and she's been well plugged in. That means she could carry the union vote any day, but I don't know. It's the field is very strong in one sense, but not all that strong in another. And Brian Topp, I think. I'm sure that he's an apparatchik. He's been working behind the scenes basically since the elevation of Jack Layton, and so he knows everybody, knows all the ins and outs, and knows all the closets with the skeletons and all that. But as you say, nobody really knows if he's electable or if it's clear that the guy doesn't have a whole lot of charisma. He comes across flat, and it's sad, but that's terribly important nowadays.
Yeah,
so,
if I was building my team, I would hope that he would keep his job in the back room and do what he does best, and keep the NDP on track that way. I think
of course,
that
he's not signaling that he wants to do that.
So even if he doesn't get the leadership, you think Brian Topp won't be performing in the same role as he did under Jack Layton if he misses out on the leadership?
I would think that he would probably run for office somewhere, and then take another hack at it later on. Because you have to understand that there's no guarantee that whoever they elect this time around is going to stick it out.
That's true.
Jack has been one of the longest-serving leaders, and people like Ed Broadbent have been in there for a long time, but others have just sort of come and gone. So if they don't get it right, somebody might get a second kick at the can later on, and that includes Brian Topp and Mulcair and
right.
others.
I actually that's actually you strike fear in my heart when we start talking about this, because the last thing I want to see the NDP do is go through leaders like toilet paper, like the Liberal Party seems to be forced to do, where it's like every other year there's a different face and name up there with different problems, and that is my nightmare. I mean, I wake up in cold sweats at night thinking about that.
Well, what do you think of the Liberal leadership? Right now we're focused on the NDP, but what's going to happen with the Liberals? The front runner is obviously the man who's sworn not to run. So
yeah, well, apparently the rules that they've set out, that it was an honor-based thing, and apparently if Bob Ray were to step aside as the interim leader, then he'd be no longer bound by that obligation, and he could run.
Sure.
You know, me and Tony have talked about this before. Personally, I have no personal issues with Bob Ray. The only concern I have is for Liberals is that I don't think he's electable in Ontario, and I think that the Liberals already lost enough seats in Ontario to the Conservatives. So,
yeah,
you know,
kind of with Mike.
But you know, that might be a subject that we definitely got to go and delve right into too. Talk about the Liberal leadership race as it heats up. But I think we're coming to an end here as we reach 2:30. But we're glad to have you back with us, Gavin. It's been a while.